Okay, this video is I'm going to be working on our second installment of logarithmic functions are in class practice for pre-calculus. And so I'm going to practice some, we're doing algebra, so I'm going to spend a few days just making sure we can practice the algebra. And remember, I'm going to show you how to do this, but there's more than one way to do a lot of them. The first one is I'm solving for x, and x is up high, so it's an exponent. So the first thing I'm going to do is natural log both sides. When I do, I can bring the x down front, so I have x natural log of 17 equals a natural log of 2. Because the x is hooked to the natural log of 17, I can unhook it by dividing, so I know x is a natural log of 2 divided by the natural log of 17. And when I put that in my calculator, and I want you to know at least 4 decimal places to be as accurate as possible, it comes out to be 0.2447. Okay? That was an easy one. So let's do the next one. The next one is got a little bit more to it. So now remember, I always say try to do some normal math and make it easier on yourself. And as I look at this, I see that 50 is multiplied by that. And when I say normal math, it's the things you've done previously, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing to solve equations. So I'm going to divide both sides by 50. So I have 20 divided by 50 equals 1.04 to the x. Okay, I'm still solving for that, but now I've got it so it's a little bit more manageable. And the other cool thing is I don't normally have you mess with this, but now I have 2/5 equals 1.04 to the x. This is much easier to now start logging to solve for x. So I'm going to natural log on this side, natural log on this side. So I have the natural log of 2/5 equals x natural log of 1.04 as I use one of the log rules and bring my exponent down. Now this is hooked by multiplication, so I know x is going to be the natural log of 2/5 divided by the natural log of 1.04, yes. And when I stick that in my calculator to find out what that would be, it'd be negative 23.3624, okay? So let's look at number 3. So I'm trying to practice doing different things with the algebra, and some of these you've seen before, just different numbers to have you practice. So now I've got 4 times 3 to the x equals 7 times 5 to the x. So let's see if we can figure out some normal math. So there's a couple ways to do this. I'm going to divide both sides by 4, but you could do 7. So if I divide by 4, I get 3 to the x equals 7/4. That's a 7 right here. 7/4 times 5 to the x. And when I look at this one right here, I look at it and say, wait a minute, I wonder if I could divide by 5 to the x. And Mrs. Pond always said you either had to have the same base or the same exponent to combine, and I have the same exponent. So now I come up with 3 to the x divided by 5 to the x equals 7/4. And then I can actually raise this whole thing as a fraction as 3 over 5 to the x equals 7/4. So now we have all this work got us to a simpler equation so we can start natural logging. You actually could have started natural logging right off the bat, but I'm trying to help you with your algebra skills and make things a little bit easier. So I've got the natural log on both sides. So I have x natural log of 3/5 using my log rule is the natural log of 7/4. It's hooked by multiplication, so x equals the natural log of 7/4 divided by the natural log of 3/5. And when I put that in my calculator, I get negative 1.0955. So I hope this is starting to get easier for you. And there are different ways to do things. I'm just going to show you one of them. Okay. This one right here, it's pretty cool, but I look at it and I said, oh man, I can't do any normal math, but I do know when I start natural logging, because there's a base E, I can say thanks for playing. That's one of the beauties of base E. That's why I have you natural log everything. So I have x natural log of 2 equals x plus 1. Literally, that's what you do. Okay. So now I want to get my x's on the same side because I'm trying to isolate them. What I'm going to do is just move this over to this side here. So I have x natural log of 2 minus x equals 1. And like I always tell you, when you get your x on the same side and it's in two terms, you can factor out the x and divide by the glop. which isn't really mathematical, but you'll see what I'm saying in a minute. It is mathematical, it's just not very mathematical sounding. See how these are hooked by multiplication? So I'm kind of calling this the glop. Because these are hooked by multiplication, I can divide by that. So I have x comes out to be 1 over the natural log of 2 minus 1. And again, when I put that in my calculator for number 4, I have negative 3.2589. Okay? Let's try some more. Number 5. Number 5, I look at it. I can do some normal math. I can divide by 600. Okay, and when I do that, I'm just going to get rid of one of the zeros. You can reduce it even more, but I'm going to do 5 over 60, just because you don't need to use your calculator to the very end, equals e to the negative 0.4x. But that does reduce down even more if you so chose. Now, I'm done with normal math, if you will. I'm going to start natural logging both sides, and when I get this side, I have a base e. I can say thanks for playing, and it cancels out, undoes that. So I have the natural log of 5 over 60 equals negative 0.4x. Okay. And then I'm going to go over here and divide by negative 0.4. So I have x equals the natural log of 5 over 60 divided by negative 0.4. So now I have x to be, when I plug this in my calculator, 6.2123. Okay, just got a couple more. Now, 6 and 7 you've actually seen before, but it's good practice. And when I look at 6, I've tried to, I'm solving for x. It's on both sides, and they're exponents. There's really no normal math, so I'm going to start natural logging. The cool thing is on the right, it cancels out. So now I have the natural log of 7 raised to the x plus 2. I'm going to put that in parentheses. You'll see in a minute why, equals 17x. Now, when I bring that down front, it's a binomial. And what I want you to do is we're going to distribute through that binomial so we can solve for this. Okay? So now I'm going to distribute here. I'm going to do x times this and x times, and 2 times that. So I have x natural log of 7 plus 2 natural log of 7 equals 17x. So I'm getting better here. Now this term has an x in it, and this term has an x in it. I'm going to move that to that side. So I have 2 natural log of 7 equals 17x minus x natural log of 7. I'm now going to factor out the x on this side. So I have x is going to be 17 minus natural log of 7. This is 2 natural log of 7 over here. And again, now these are hooked by multiplication. I can divide by the glop. So x is actually going to be 2 natural log of 7 divided by 17 minus the natural log of 7. And when I put that in my calculator and round it to 4 decimal places, I get 0.2585. Okay, let's look at 7. All right, we have done this one before, so let me give this a little bit bigger here. The first thing you people want to do is divide by 5. You cannot do that because your bases don't match and your exponents don't match, because really there's an exponent of 1 here. But what I do want you to do is put a multiplication in between there. So when you start natural logging to actually start solving, the right between the 5 and the e to the 7 minus x is understood that it's multiplication, so we're going to pull it apart with addition. So I'm going to bring down the x plus 3 because I can on the left using the log rules. The right will be natural log of 5 plus the natural log of e to the 7 minus x. Cool thing going on, thanks for playing here. I can distribute this, so I got x natural log of 10 plus 3 natural log of 10 equals a natural log of 5 plus 7 minus x. Yeah, it does look long. And then I'm going to get all my terms with the x's on one side, and 7's a number, 5 is a number, 3 natural log of 10 is a number. So I'm going to put that on one side. So it looks easier for me, I think, to move the x to the left and the 3 natural log to the other side. So I'm going to do x natural log of 10 plus x is going to equal the natural log of 5 plus 7 minus 3, the natural log of 10. Then I'm going to factor the x out and divide by the GLOP. See how we do this over and over again? Natural log of 5 plus 7 minus the 3 natural log of 10. And then I'm going to divide by the GLOP. So x is going to equal the natural log of 5 plus 7 minus 3 natural log of 10 all over the natural log of 10 plus 1. And when I put that in my calculator, I get 0.5153. So I hope you use this video where maybe you try doing it yourself and then go back and look and see if you did okay. And you could possibly end up with the same answer, but maybe you've done it a different way. There's many ways to do all of these. So I hope this video helped. On our second day of practicing solving exponential equations using logs.